Y'all, welcome back to my channel. We're going to jump straight into this beat, starting with primer. I'm using the Wet n Wild Photofocus Primer in Matte. All products will be listed down below. We're just going to apply that all over the face and rub it in liberally. And throughout the video, you'll see me looking over to the side. That's where my mirror was set up. Now we're going to move on to our highlighting using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Fawn. And the method I'm using, I learned from a YouTuber named Savannah Silver. I will link her page down below. So you're just going to apply this to all the high points in your face. Next, onto contour using the NYX HD Concealer. I normally do not contour a lot, especially not on my forehead, but I had just did my own braids, so I wanted to develop a stronger hairline for the look. Now I'm taking a skin tone concealer, also by LA Girl, to soften the highlighted areas. So I'm just patting that on the outside of my highlights to make it blend a little better. Now onto foundation. I'm using my Juvia's Place foundation in the shade Angola to fill in the remainder of my face. I know it seems like a lot, but it really gives you a great base. And if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more great content. I know I've been away from the channel for a while, but I promise I'm coming back and I'm going to be more consistent this year. You're just going to want to go ahead and blend that out. I'm using just a wide fluffy brush. I can leave the link to where I got my brushes as well in the description box. They're all from Amazon. I was talking to my sister. She was helping me record, sort of, kind of. So me and her were like talking and laughing. Next, using my e.l.f. face sponge, I'm going to blend out all my highlighted areas. And I'm taking any extra product that's on the sponge and patting it onto my eye just so the face doesn't cake up. And also it helps just to create a smoother base whenever you do your eyeshadows. It's just a personal trick that I like to do. I promise you, I was having a whole concert while I was recording. I was really having fun making this video for you guys. And I also did my eyebrows off camera, but if you want a full brow tutorial, please let me know in the comment section down below so I can get one of those on the way for you guys. Next, taking an angled synthetic brush, you're going to blend out your contour. You can get one of these brushes anywhere. I don't really use a lot of super expensive name brand brushes. I do plan on buying more brushes in the future. But let's talk about that under eye blend though, because sis is flawless. Creased wear, okay? Now time to set. I used the Makeup Revolution setting powder in banana, and I honestly went really heavy on the powder. I was afraid that the eyeshadow look would have a lot of fallout, so I went a little crazy on the powder. So you do not need to apply as much powder that I applied in this look, just depending on how heavy your hand is whenever you do your eyeshadows. And I'm just applying that with the same face sponge as earlier. And for the rest of my face, I sat with Kat Von D's Lock It Tattoo powder in the shade Translucent, using the bottom part of my e.l.f. sponge. Then I took a medium fluffy brush just to knock off any excess powder that may have been sitting on the face, just to make sure that the skin was as smooth as possible. Now onto the piece de resistance. I put tape on the side of my eyes to help with the shadow shaping. And like I said earlier, you do not need to put as much powder underneath your eyes as I did. I was kind of tripping. But right now I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fawn again to use as a base for my eyeshadow. And I just went and blended that out with a flat foundation brush. And when you see me open my eyes really wide, it's just to ensure that my entire lid is covered and that I don't miss any spots. And for this eyeshadow look, I was using the Zulu and Masquerade palettes, both by Juvia's Place. First, dipping into the Masquerade palette, I used the shade Zobo. And I'm applying that with a small packing brush into the middle section of my eye. Almost towards the outer third, but also towards the middle. And I didn't realize you guys couldn't see the palettes. My sister was supposed to be my cameraman, and she was not paying attention. So I will leave all of the details down below in the description box. Next, using the Zulu palette and a flat brush, you're going to want to use the orange and pink shades. First, dipping into the pink shade and putting it near the violet. You really want to press that in there so you can see the gradual change in color from the purple to the pink. Then, using the same brush, you're going to want to dip into the orange color. And you want to push that close to the crease, but not super close, to leave room for the yellow shade. And blend it over top of the pink. You want this to be a very nice gradient effect. Nothing with harsh lines. And my brush was dual-sided, so I just turned it over and used the fluffy side to blend the shades together. And I'm just dipping back in to heighten the color difference so you can still see the pink through the orange and purple. From the Zulu palette again, taking a shadow brush by Wet n Wild, you're going to want to pack that yellow into the inner third of your eye. And you really want to go heavy with it if you want your color to show and for the transition to be very opaque. So I just really pushed it in there, not worried too much about blending or shaping it because we'll go back and clean that up later. But you really want to push the yellow into the inner corner. And then finally, from the Zulu palette, you want to take another packing brush and the dark purple shade that is in the palette and put it into the the outer crease of your eye, which is why we have the tape down to keep the shape nice and clean so we don't go too far out. To clean up the look, I took a large blending brush in the brown shade from the Zulu palette and swept it all over the crease area just to help blend any rough lines and edges and make the transition really smooth. Lastly, you're going to take a pencil brush in the shade Molly from the Masquerade palette and blend that into your lower lash line. Please disregard the face I was making here. I was trying not to poke my eye out and get the color very even. I chose the shade Molly because the green added a very nice contrast to the almost sunset look that was on the eyes. And Molly was a very beautiful shade. It had a slight shimmer to it, which was a good contrast to the mattes that were on the upper eyelid. And I'm just going back and touching up any areas that I realized I missed the first time to make it as perfect as possible. And I went ahead and did the other eye and put my lashes on off camera. Now taking my NYX Highlight and Contour palette, with the second shade from the bottom and a medium brush, you're going to want to apply that powder all over your face, under your eyes, just to add some more color and definition back to it that you may have lost throughout the process. And like I said, I went heavy with the setting powder, but if you don't go as heavy with the powder, you can skip this step. Also with the same palette and a small fluffy brush, I used the darkest shade to contour my nose. As you can see, I'm just taking the brush, defining my nostrils and the bridge of my nose just to bring more definition back to it. I don't make my nose very skinny when I contour it. I just like to make sure it's still seen. I think my nose is kind of cute. Now you're going to want to use your favorite blush. This blush I actually got from Kohl's for Christmas. I have other blushes that I enjoy using, but this was the one I had on hand at the moment. You're just going to want to apply that to the apples of your cheek and all up your face. And look at the eyes just popping out. The colors are very opaque. That's one of my favorite things about Juvia's Place shadows, is that they really do stand out and that they really do stay throughout the day. Now it's time to set using the Wet n Wild setting spray in Cucumber. And I went ham with the setting spray because I do not have time for my makeup to budge. So after I set my face, I used this brush from Sephora, the Mini Multitasker, just to press the setting spray into my skin so it doesn't just sit on top of it, but it really goes and penetrates all those layers of powder to help your face come out more flawless. Now using the shimmery pink shade from the Zulu palette, I'm going to use that for a highlighter. Juvia's Place shadows are also used as pigment, so a lot of people use them for more than one purpose. I am one of those people. I love the way that the color comes across your skin. So I really wanted to use this pretty pink shade because I don't have a rose gold highlighter, but this pigment does it for me every time. Just look at that glow. Finally, you're going to want to apply your favorite lip gloss. I got this one from my local beauty supply store, and I love it so much because it's very glossy and not super sticky, and it makes my lips look really good. And I love lip gloss, so I applied a lot. Okay guys, and this is the finished look, so I really hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, it's just a really simple, flawless base with a really colorful eye. If you like more, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is Life with Tisa.